Welcome, everyone, to a special playoff bracket here tonight for the Collegiate Valorant Conference. Our Miami University Redhawk Valorant roster up in the top 32 play against the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee Black roster. A very tough matchup. The Redhawks going in as the underdog in the single elimination bracket. Overall, really excited to get to see some really awesome Valorant competition tonight. I'm excited to kind of see. I haven't got a chance to see UWM compete before, so getting to see some new faces here in Collegiate is always a blast, an opportunity to have.
I'm very excited as well, knowing that UWM actually only has 2 losses against the number 1 and number 2 seed in this division so far.
Yeah, UWM coming with losses from San Jose State Blue and let me remember, I believe it's Columbia College. Yes, Columbia College being the 1 seed coming out of the West Division. We competed in the East Division, so that is why we're matching up against a Western Central school in Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
Only an hour difference, but not still. Regionally speaking, that's why we're matched up against them in this first round. They wanted to give some regional matches in, and our losses, we're coming in at a record of 4-3. They're coming in a record with 5-2. Our 3 losses happening to Fisher Tea Party, Akron Gold, and UCF Knights. So
Correct.
UCF coming in as I think the 6th seed from our division, and then those 2 other losses, Tea Party, I don't think they made it even out for top 32. I believe they forfeited a lot of their matches and also took some tough losses in there. But Akron Gold is on one of the sides of the bracket. So overall, pretty solid showing from the Redhawks and CVC to make top 32 cut. We're excited to get the opportunity to cast it tonight. It's going to be best of 3 single elimination. Our plan and start time is 9:20. So give us about 4 minutes to get into the action. But overall, this new roster, we have 3 freshmen and 1 returning player, and then 1 senior that's hopped on board. Our president of our esports club.
Yes.
We should feel honored to have him a part of the team. Millen Sleepyhead, we get to see tonight in action. And overall, these 3 new freshmen, Sith Lord, Favorite Liar, and Rysick, making an impact on this roster. Doomty being the head of the Snake, being a strong force to reckon with in a lot of our matches. We did get to see our team play in NACE playoffs already this semester. You got a chance to actually cast that game. So
Yes, it was
if you
very
want to talk
exciting.
through that.
I just want to bring up especially just Adumti, just having that strong lead, being the duelist player of Miami University, just being able to make a lot of those aggressive calls. We're going to see a lot during this match. Miami University trying to push the pace a little bit, push the tempo. Usually it's all gas, no brakes, and it's a very exciting match because of it. And I want to give a big shout out to Adumti because of that, because it's very difficult in order to IGL that sort of situation where so much is going on in such a little amount of time. I also want to shout out Favorite Liar, a personal favorite of mine to see on the channel. He is our smokes player, I believe, just smokes. Usually being on the Viper role, especially on maps like Bind. And he's a very talented player in the fact that he knows how to find his timings, find those moments when you get in, and make big plays because of it. We know Valorant being a very conditional game. In the highest of levels, you really want to be conditioning your opponent, trying to figure out, okay, if they respond to this way, here's how I'm able to take advantage of it, exploit it, and then move forward with, hopefully winning 1 or more multiple rounds.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and going into that, I mean, we saw the dominance and that aggression come out during their NACE match against Maryville Academy here this past Wednesday. They got to move on into NACE's next bracket against Redbird JV coming, and we'll have it showcased on the channel again on next Wednesday. So keep your eyes out for some more Valorant action on Wednesday. But again, a 2-0 clean sweep, very dominant fashion. I think one was a 13-0, right? Or a
no, Miami
13-1.
University lost 3 rounds, 2 in the first, 1 in
One
the
in the
second.
second. So
Yep.
very dominant performance. Now, UWM Black is coming in with a larger rank disparity than the Maryville Academy is what we had. I mean, UWM Black is looking like a full, I mean, Immortal Radiant level team. And so it's going to be a quietly different. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Miami go away from that aggressive style. Miami kind of rolled that Maryville Academy, going in very aggressively, trying to get those just trades because they wanted to just outskill them in a lot of their matchups. But there were still a lot of things that they could have fixed. I mean, we saw one of those rounds that they lost against Maryville Academy. They just didn't check their corners. They got a
Yeah.
3K off of not checking a corner. And that's something that you're not going to be able to get away with against UWM Black here today.
Especially against a lot of Radiant and Immortal players. They know when to hide in those spots and when not to. Miami University was checking a few of their corners occasionally, being able to sniff out the occasional player.
Yep.
But it's those crucial moments when you're trying to get back on a site where not checking your corners, and even if you do check your corners, if you're too slow about it, you will just get you'll just get beat out by the other team.
Yeah.
They'll be able to get in positions. They'll know where you are. They have the information advantage. If you aren't quick enough, or if you fail to check your corners, it's kind of an insane balance when you think about it, trying to make sure you get both of those right. But Coming up into this match, I believe Miami University is more likely than not going to go into a bind map, either first or second pick. Typically, one of the maps Miami University loves to play on, and we've seen them do it so often at this point that it would be a very big surprise to me if they chose to ban it. UWM may know this and ban it themselves, but I'd be very surprised if they do.
Yeah, I mean the VOD footage is out there. They definitely, if they took this super seriously, they could find the footage on our Twitch and YouTube channels to see what we kind of play, what we like to do. But we'll see kind of what they decide, what they're comfortable on. I think another thing I want to point out outside of just the map pick in general, when we talk about going from a team of gold and plat players to now playing up against a mortal radiant level team, the util usage and the information gathering, like you mentioned, it's going to be severely different. And the teams that lack the utility usage are going to be those gold to plat teams where they're not throwing out or coordinating the correct util at the right time. And these teams are going to be stellar at it. It's what to expect. And so if Miami's able to force that recognition and then also be able to win a lot of the gunfights that they need to, um, keep keep your eyes on the lurker and how important that lurking position is on these maps for both teams. Because if that lurker is able to find a first blood or find the advantages and space on the map, then that's going to be really going to be determining who comes out victorious today and moves on to the round of 16.
Absolutely. And being in the top 32 itself is a very good achievement.
Yes.
Many universities have tried, again, as we talked prior. I believe you said Fisher not making the top 32.
I'd have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure they ended up with 4 losses or so, and I think it
Yeah.
was right off of the limit to make top 32 cut from both. You had to make top 16 from your division.
Yeah.
So they put 16 from the West and Central and 16 from the East.
So brutal out here, but top 16 teams from each division coming into this, a very competitive bracket. Kind of excited to see how Miami University does choose to play this. Again, you brought up prior, they may choose to play this a bit less aggressively given the fact that they are going up against rank-wise higher level opponents.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what the play calls are. Like it's going to be up to the IGLs of both teams of, do we 4 stack this site and have one lurker? Do we play a default this round? What do we see on eco rounds? Do we see a 5-man push into, let's say we're on Haven, do we go 5-stack B?
Right.
Do we just play the trades, try and find the guns? It's all going to be up onto these IGL calls. And I know Miami's been experimenting around with the IGL situation. I know that Adam has Adumti has looked to potentially give that away so that he can focus more on his gameplay, because the IGL position is really a tough one to look at when you're talking through esports. That's the one that is in charge of thinking about every single thing that's happening in the game, right? It's from the, what should my teammates be doing instead of just myself? It's like, what's the perfect execution onto this site? And they're thinking about it, and usually from that mental standpoint, it usually decreases your performance. And so Adam's been trying to kind of offset that and give the mid round call away to someone else. Usually, the controller player will do the mid round calling. You see that a lot of time. The one that's in control of the smokes is going to typically be the one to be like, okay, we're pushing this site, or hey, I want you to take this space because I'm putting that smoke down right now. So it's going to be, I'm curious to see kind of how that IGLing will impact this match. But that's something that they've been experimenting with in the recent weeks, and I'm excited to see that in fruition.
Right, and I want to put a little bit of more of a highlight on the mind games of Valorant. IGLs typically not only trying to figure out how to coordinate their team, what their team wants to do, both in respects to their comp and their opponent's comp, but they want to have an understanding of what the opponents are going to do
Yep.
in retaliation. For example, you brought up 5 stacking on eco rounds. It can be a dangerous thing. You get one pick if somebody lurks up a bit too far. If you catch someone unexpected, you have a free rifle in your hand. Now the round's not out of your hands. 5v4, you keep pushing your advantage, it snowballs into a victory. Uh, But you also have to consider if you're IGLing, especially as that duelist role, who's immediately shooting themselves into line of fire, you're going to be put in such a difficult position because,
Yep.
again, you want to make sure your gameplay is on point. You want to make sure you're focusing on the game, hitting your shots, especially in those like quick moment-to-moment situations. Incredibly difficult, and we're incredibly lucky to have a Doomty currently on our IGL, but bringing it to a controller player may be the wise thing in the future. I know. Go ahead.
No, and getting to see the transition, because when you bring in the brand new roster, so Doomty being the only returning player, you have 4 new players that have never played competitive Valorant. Some of them played in high school. 2 of them coming from Centerville High School in Ohio, played together, but not into the collegiate atmosphere. High school to collegiate, although yes, you were a part of a team, the drastic difference of competition, like I mentioned, like we played against a gold plat team in NACE playoffs to start, and that's club playoffs. But then going into CVC playoffs, you're going from a drastic change to like some of the top tier players in not just collegiate, but like in the game itself.
Right.
And so these players know how to play together and the cohesive, and it's a the team environment is very big shift. And Adumti kind of took reins of that. If like I've been here for 3 years now, I know what needs to be done. And now it almost felt I wouldn't say like a dictatorship, but it's very just like you have to be up close and forward with these players and just letting them know what they need to adjust. And this team has done a very good job at adapting to that. And now it's loosening. Now they're trying to find the communication lines that they need to find together, that really bring it all in. Which is again, this or this fall semester has been the off season for this Valorant team. They've been playing in CVC and NACE Club. They haven't been really competing in what our main season is. When we get back to the spring, we have the Esports Collegiate Conference main regular season and playoffs, and then you also have CVAL fall warm up. I mean, it's a fall warm up.
Right.
It's the off season for this group to really warm up, engage with each other, and get to know each other. And now, once we get to the spring, but being already in a top 32 playoff bracket is massive. It's a great chance of experience, not only just as a group, but to get to play some of these good players from UWM, but getting some playoff experience is also key because nerves can get there in a postseason kind of environment. You want to test your players out in those kind of aspects, and I think this is a great opportunity for them to get that experience.
And so we are coming up on the map Abyss. I do want to point out Miami University having a lot of experience on Abyss. I remember that every match I've casted, at least, they've played it, or at least all but one. A surprising pick coming out from Miami University's team, typically going to be a Doomty on the Waylay rather than the Jet. I know Jet specifically doing really good on this map just because of the float ability, just because she has the dash, and those having an op is really valuable on this map just because there's so many of those very long corridors.
Right.
But Waylay, a very interesting pick just because she's able to take so much space incredibly quickly, and she's also able to recover incredibly quickly as well, just by hitting her dash and then immediately teleporting back whenever she needs to. And it kind of allows for this playstyle where Miami University is going to be able to take a little bit of space, inch closer and closer, and then immediately explode out into angles you aren't expecting as the defenders. And you just need to be so prepared. You need to be able to, either be holding where you expect the Waylay to be and then just immediately punish them for trying to dash in improperly, or you're going to need to be able to retake that space that the Waylay takes and close her off from her supporting team.
Yeah, absolutely strong point, and that is possible on these 2 maps. I know we will typically see potentially a Cypher or Vise coming from both sides. Vise being pretty strong on this map as well on Abyss, able to wall off those kind of aggressive pushes. But the cool thing about Waylay, you get that get out of jail free card though to come back, and then if you don't like when you go in and you don't find anything, then you can always go back to your team and regroup.
And
And
again,
we do see that Waylay immediately. Teo, though, hovered from UWM, and we haven't really seen too much Teo recently.
I am unfamiliar with how the Teo meta has been. I did not play after Teo got nerfed. But he's a very interesting choice in this map. I think I also would personally use Teo just a little bit, just because he's so good at having those post plant situations. going to be able to use his missiles to cover the bomb whenever, the opponent either taps it or, tries to stick it, just because it allows you to keep around safe around the corner, force your opponent to come to you, or force them to stay off the bomb for a little bit after tapping it, thus giving away their position.
Yeah, Miami on the defender side here first. Rysik on the breach. Breach not nearly used compared to what we're seeing. And I do see the Deadlock Hover versus the Vice. Both very viable characters on this map. Vice, that wall just being so, making rounds so volatile. It can really section off teams away from each other. Teo, again, the post plant situation here. I mean, you look at all what they have. They have Net, they have Astra, able to pull people off the spike, defuse. They have Teo, they have shock darts. They have everything.
Right.
They are playing for the plant here.
Absolutely.
Whereas Miami's team, yes, a possibility, but very much like controlling space is their big priority here.
And I would like to just bring up really quickly, hypothetically, the Vice pick is specifically going to do a really good job of what I was talking about earlier with the ability of Waylay to just get into those spaces, and then you really, as an opponent, want to block her off from her supporting team. Even though she's going to be able to TP back, that wall is indestructible. You are not going to be able to, shoot it down. Some of the opponent team may be able to jump over it, but in this comp, nobody but Waylay is going to be able to get over it with her dash. She is going to be alone on site, and so it forces her to burn it in uncomfortable situations, and then just immediately fall back to burn the Vice wall.
Yeah, we do see a 4-1 split here. 4 going towards that A, looking like a little bit of a default if we see some of them go to A and through mid. But I do find this interesting. We do see the Sova over on the B side of the map, so maybe looking to get an arrow out towards B to try and fake out this roster, get some information. You do see a good amount. Adumti able to find out information, very key information, knowing the Sova is on that side of the map. Sleepyhead peeking the middle area with his teammate, gonna bait off one other. We do find one though off the pistol, but
Waylay
a huge turnaround.
Waylay not gonna be able to secure the kill. Silthward gonna come back tower, gonna be able to finish it off. None of the supporting team coming quite out of a main. Miami University expecting it. Sleepyhead gonna be able to get the mid pick. Another pick from Rysik. Bomb down in the center. Tejo trying to creep his way up. Not quite going to be able to make it. We have Miami University's breach. Going to stun. Try and see if they can get a pick. Miami University holding from the back. Adumti going to know that Sova was there at the beginning of the round. That's why the Waylay dash, using it with the breach flash, is going to be so important because it allows them to get that information that they need. And you'll see Miami University capitalizing so heavily on this. A up 4v1 despite not getting the first blood. Miami University gonna try and play this slowly, knowing that the enemy Tejo is gonna be in the center of the map.
Playing a vertical here on the left side, and then also playing a crossfire on the right. Now sandwiched in between two defenders, able to find one, but not able to see where Adumti is. Adumti only 10 HP there, but still playing that crossfire, like you mentioned, be able to peek and trade your teammate. A huge pistol round there from Miami. Gonna get a Bulldog.
It looks like
a Guardian, some Spectators. Very good purchase round here for Miami.
It looks like Adumti is going to be playing with that rifle, or sniper specifically, which I think is going to be very important on this map. Kind of implies that he's not going to push up quite as far as he usually does. Again, opponents that have studied Miami University may assume that Adumti is going to push up on that B site every single round, possibly the Astra there to punish it from UWM, but it looks like he's just going to be holding with the Outlaw, going to get the pick on the Deadlock as she's trying to sneak around the corner. Miami University aware, hey, we just got a pick on the A site. I don't hear anything else. It doesn't sound like anyone's trying to push up. On this eco round, they're not very likely to try and follow up on it. Favorite Liar going to go down to Mox, though, knowing that at least 2 players are mid. Miami University's Astra trying to hold that mid spot, kind of falling back a little bit, potentially trying to play double up with a Adumti here.
Rysik caught out, not holding the correct angle. Let one player slip through. Now you got Sleepyhead caught out from the rafters, and now a free plant going down here for UWM Black. Tangley able to find Sith Lord on the rotation. Adumti now. Outlaw on him, looking for another gun here. Because the Outlaw is not an ideal weapon to have in this scenario.
This is such a difficult position to be in, as it, you know that the enemy team knows where you are now. You know they have weapons. I believe UWM having a Spectre and a Guardian at least, knowing
You
exactly
did tag
where.
him there.
Yeah, but what really are you going to be able to do? They know exactly where you are. They're dumping utility. They have plenty of it to try and prevent you from pushing into sight. You kind of just got to give up this eco round, which is so heartbreaking coming from such a dominant pistol round from Miami University.
Yeah, just some information lacking. They're able to slip through. Gonna get one. Do we get the save run? Yes. Adumti able to find 3. That is still key. That does not give UWM the guns for this round, which is key. Now you only have one of them carried over, but now they're going to replace those with Vandals, and Miami only has the Outlaw to answer.
I mean, 2 very important.
And they expect it this round.
2 very important picks. Yes, I agree with you entirely. UWM going to know that Miami University is going to have that Outlaw, so ensuring that they buy full shields this round. Only the Sova going to be the one to live from last round, and you'll see with this eco having $4,000 online, and a Guardian versus the enemy team having very little money at this point, but all Vandals. It looks like Miami University's playing sort of a default situation, Vice with the Outlaw, trying to punish anyone who pushes through the wall too quickly, but UWM not going to have anybody kind of pushing up on A yet, just kind of having that bomb near a main mid sort of situation. Pushing up a little bit through mid, nobody really making any moves yet, using some utility to clear out a bit of that close space just so that they can kind of see if anyone is playing any of those sneaky early positions. Mock's going to enable her dash real quick, ready to go back at a moment's notice. Pushing out a little bit of space, committing a little bit of utility to it. Going to see what the plan is here from both universities, taking all of this mid control. Miami University, such in a difficult position. UWM has just played so slow up to this point that Miami hasn't had any opportunities to catch them off their, catch them trying to go in the wrong way.
And I like this from UWM. You're not trying to give away your Vandals immediately. And Miami's looking to play these close trades. You don't know what they have. They could easily have a shorty. They could have anything trying to play off these classics. 3 members of Miami, classics only, and then you only have a sheriff and an outlaw on the side for your roster. So you're also trying to play the trade pattern, right?
But it looks like they're about to commit
finally
B here.
Committing here. 15 seconds left to get this plant down. Miami's just going to play for the retake, and I agree with this too from their side. You only have classics like we mentioned, so you're trying to play off of your bodies here. So we're going to see plant go down now. We're all in a post-plant situation. You do have 1 member in mid lurking. That is, I believe, the Waylay. No, it's Chonk.
I do want to point out, very interesting play from Miami University here, trying to take back some of that mid space, kind of assuming someone's playing there to catch any of the rotations, falling back, knowing one of the players is going to be mid. Miami University entirely pushing out now, trades coming out from both teams. 3v4, Miami University down, going to be able to take out the Astra onside tap bomb, going down, 2v2, Miami University with the weapons disadvantage still, knows both, one is on site, one is in the enemy tower.
No time.
Not quite going to be able to do it. No time. Not going to be able to find the pick on Mox. Is he going to die to bomb? No, not quite going to die to bomb.
Yeah, Miami there. Overall, I mean, they knew that they had a player in mid. They wanted to check if they could get a free gun off the lurker. So they went for the play. Got a little bit chunked out there, but I mean, that was worth it. To go check mid with 3, try and find a trade onto Chonk and maybe pick up their gun. Doesn't work out. They get into the post-plant scenario. They actually get a good trade, get a Vandal picked up, but then we saw Rysek wrap around when there was a Vandal right there on bomb. He could have easily got a Vandal with full HP there, potentially, but
it was such a risky play.
It's a risky play when you know somebody is already in windows. And Net does catch a favorite liar here. This is where the Teo comes in huge. A little bit late with the Teo utility, but does force Miami to get back towards their spawn.
Only 1 defender on site. Miami University choosing to fall back. Adumti going down early, 4v5. This is not the round you want to lose as Miami University.
Yeah, post plant already.
Territory, my rules.
And we see the ult come out here. Will it find anyone? They're looking to get it. Does catch Sithor. They are going to be able to shoot it out, but still gets caught out by Mox. A huge wallbang kill from Mox there. Shock darts going through. Miami up in this heaven territory and unable to get it. Time is running out, and this round is looking dire.
Very low on time. You know the enemy team has a lot of utility still. You just got to wonder, what can you do in that sort of situation? Miami University trying to look for some of those exit frags. Only going to get one so far. Not going to quite hit the Sova. Losing that gun there, I believe, is going to be far more impactful for Miami University than it is for UWM.
Yeah, UWM now 3-1. Looking at it, Mox on that Waylay. Both Waylays 6-2. Adumti with ult though in hand. The ult priority here is in Miami's favor right for the moment, but Temptaville and Herring looking very close. If they are able to find any kills or get an ult orb or a plant down, they're going to be looking with their tempo as well. They'll have some ult tempo in the round, so Miami needs to play that safe. We'll see. It looks like a 4-1 split towards mid of map for UWM, kind of favoring towards the B side.
This is just such a difficult position for Miami University to be in. I know that, of course, being down on rounds you never want to be, but specifically being down so far in economy, I think it's very uncommon for players to be in this position where you lose the round. That's so, like, you win the pistol round. You win the pistol round and you lose the eco round, and just continually being on the back foot in terms of money, it's just so difficult. You never want to see yourself in this position. Only one player getting caught. Sleepyhead going to be shot by Mox. Kind of wondering what's happening here. You see at least two players here. Pinging, we'll see Adumti trying to ping mid, see if Miami University rotates a few of the players. It looks like our Breach is trying to peek out mid. Our Astra as well, but we see A-Site's not so safe. Favorite Liar gonna potentially run into UWM, but it looks like they're backing off. And UWM having all 5 of their players A main gonna explode soon. Vice gonna fall back, throwing out utility. They take site. Nobody's there to contest them. Miami University all off site in such a difficult position. Mock's gonna be pushed up onto site, signaling that nobody else is there. UWM just flooding into site. It's such an unfortunate timing, because we saw Vice on the site just a second ago, ready to punish anybody that pushes up. But in the last 15 seconds, they make their push, and nobody's there.
No, Miami making the correct call. As we see now, the util goes out. We do see a Doomty call in with the Waylay ult, is able to find Mox, a huge trade onto their top frag. Right's like able to find Chong in the corner. Now we start the defense. Here's the utility dump that we mentioned, this post-plant dump that they can get. This is what they wanted. The Astra out. All detail. Now all they have left is the shock darts, but the shock darts are dead. Now it's Teo ult. Miami able to get half on. Does have time, but it's a 1v1. Do we stick? Pros do not fake.
Oh! Miami University going to be able to finish the bomb off in a last-moment situation. Teo going to be able to take out the Astra, but it doesn't matter. Miami University taking the round.
Yeah, huge round win there for Miami. Pros do not fake, and they are able to find it. One off, no, not a headshot. If that was a headshot, it was over. A body shot saves Miami there. A great use of ult there, usage from Adumti, also with Rysek using his E to push onto site, get some good trades, able to shut down Mox there on site, able to find Chonk as well. Now looking towards a B split, knowing that this Waylay doesn't have ult. I think we see Astra, the wall does go up, Adumti able to get away, but Rysek unable to find a trade onto site, as another plant going down here for UWM. Miami on the retake.
It's really interesting. We're kind of seeing the opposite of what we'd expect this match to go. Miami University traditionally going to be a very aggressive team, but UWM really setting the pace here, forcing Miami to play a little bit on the back foot. And I do want to point out, despite Miami University winning the last match, they did not come out with any guns. It's going to be a very difficult position economy-wise. Again, they really want to win this one, but the Vice ult going to get so many of UWM's players. Going to get one pick on Mox, another one on Tangley. Sova going to be able to pick up Favorite Liars. Sith Lord going down to the deadlock. Not quite it. UWM going to be able to get their weapons back before Miami University is able to push up fully, and that is going to be the round. 2-4. Miami University likely going to be on an eco round here. Yeah, going to be buying a few of those sheriffs, maybe a light shield, but kind of playing on the back foot again.
Yeah, a great decision there with the retake ult usage for the Astra and Favorite Liar, but just not executed fast enough. UWM able to play off of the wall very well too, to be able to trade their teammates. And like you mentioned, by the time that it was done, they already had guns up, and Miami not able to find the trades. Herring able to find out Adumti get first blood over. I mean, that's an okay play. I understand. You got to switch things up, try and see what can work, especially when you don't have an economy. As Sleepyhead also looking to go for a gun attempt, able to find them once again. Now, Miami not favored 35, but UWM's following their game plan. Like we mentioned with this comp, you want to get into a post-plant scenario, and they've been able to do that out a majority of these rounds, and Miami's been playing these retake due to the economy. I mean, they can't play on the site with the weapons that they currently have. And so it's important that UWM, they're taking that aggressive pushing that we've been discussing.
And it's kind of an interesting positioning here. We see a lot of these late round plays. Going to be able to find the pick on the Tejo. That's going to be it. Miami University in a 1v4, but such an important kill there. Going to be able to limit UWM's post-plant advantage. If Miami University's breach is going to be able to do anything here, taking out specifically the Tejo's, going to be one of the most important kills of this round. Trying to make his way up tower, see what he's able to do. Throwing out the... not quite. Going to try and hold out the flash a little bit, maybe fall back on it, but they're going to get shot through the wall by UWM's Waylay, and that is going to be the round. Miami University not quite going to be able to get a full buy this round, but trying to force up, see what they can do, snowball back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Rysek there, you're just looking for any kind of elimination, just trying to get a gun off the map.
Absolutely.
Was it Ghost or a Classic in hand?
Ghost. It was a Ghost.
Ghost in hand, you're not looking for very much there. So UWM, again, they have the tempo. They have 2 ults in hand. The Sova ult ready for post-plant situation. They're looking to get onto this A site. Sova going to play that in the back of their spawn. We see the Waylay ult come out as well, and that's where that tempo comes in. Miami forced off the site. Well, look at that utility usage that, like we talked about in the pregame. This team knows how to dump their utility correctly and force teams off of site, able to get site control, and here we go. This is going to be it. Now, Miami looking for the trades, able to find 1, but loses 2, loses 3, and now Sleepyhead in a 1v3 situation, not able to find it. Miami, I like the play call, but the wall disrupting them. A perfectly timed wall there from Chonk going to dissuade Miami from even getting a push out.
And I do want to bring up how UWM has been making this read a few of the times now that you'll see they'll stack A site just because they know Miami University typically playing with the 1 Vice on A. But this round, we're going to see Miami University lean a lot more into that A site, sort of expecting UWM to try and make a sort of that big play again, rush onto site, but they're not. UWM, in fact, actually going to be playing B again into the Vice. Vice going to have only a Sheriff, hearing the Tejo, making the call that potentially there are many players there. Going to see a few of the Astra Smokes, Scova Utility, Waylay. They know at least 4 players are pushing up on the B site, getting Vice and Astra kind of doubled up right here, trying to hold if any of them push up. Not very likely, as we've seen. UWM typically only staying in the bounds where the smoke is.
All that utility dump just to clear out the corners on the site. And then, like I mentioned, that lurker, the importance of the lurker here. Able to find 2. Miami just trying to get some trades here, knowing that the lurker is existing in mid. They're trying to find them, but not able to get anything off them. Does chunk them out, but now you have 2 people towards mid, and now you have to rush site here with Sheriffs on this save round. A great shot from Favorite Liar, able to find Tangly, but can they find any more? A 2v3 situation, all 3 have ults.
You're also going to know in this position that there's likely only 2 players on site. Going to be trying to push up, fall onto the bomb. No smokes. Favorite Liar not going to be able to do much with the time given to them. Only going to be able to find 1 Astra Utility coming out, trying to get another pick, knowing that their gun is not as valuable as the opponent's Vandal. So if they peek out again, try and see if they can get an extra pick. You take out a Vandal, whereas you only lose, what, a Spectre, a Sheriff?
Yeah, and now we see the timeout here from Adumti, a good call here, as now for post-plant situation too, this Sova has not had their post-plant ult forced out. Now it's just continuous pressure because you know that they're looking to save it for a post-plant situation. We'll see. I believe Sleepyhead also had their ult as well, and so we may see if they're both alive, they might both use it at the same time to try. Sleepyhead might do that just to force out the UWM Black player, but at the end of the day, they're doing exactly what I thought they would do with this comp. They are utilizing their utility amazingly to push out Miami from the site. Miami's doing a good job. They're getting out. They're not getting traded, right?
Right.
It's just a matter of playing retake in. We're not getting the trades we need. UWM has a player hitting their shots on the waylay, and Miami is just not finding the right kills that are leading into round wins. Our economy has been shot since the beginning. Since that second round, like you mentioned, we had that awesome pistol round, and then we lost that to an eco, and it is completely unfortunately. And now we finally see a pretty evenly distributed econ round. That's why the timeout went forward, is because this is our time to maybe crawl back into this and find some rounds on the defensive side before we cut in to a B push here from UWM.
It's just so difficult for Miami University here because no matter what, if you win these next 2 rounds, UWM is still going to be able to make a full buy. Having 4,000 per player, you just aren't going to be able to deter them. Teho ult coming out here, a lot of smokes coming down, being able to prevent people from coming out. Waylay ult coming out here from a Doomty, not quite going to hit anybody, getting blinded by our own breach, unfortunately, spraying into the smoke, almost hitting one of UWM's players through the smoke, and then just kind of slowing it down. Miami University winning the trade war, getting 3 picks on the enemy team, whereas UWM only able to get 1 pick on Miami, and UWM choosing to play stay back, try and play onto what I assume is the A site right here rather than coming out mid.
Yeah, we'll see what they decide to do, but now they're pushing into fully Vice utility, and Vice is ready to go on site. Miami utilizing that timeout to perfection. A Doomty making huge plays, and Favor Liar getting a 2-piece here to make it a 2-3 round. The wall goes up. The Iron Thorns are there. They know one player is stuck. Now the dart. Miami just going to play their numbers here. I don't mind this call. You have a Sova that's already chunked out a little bit, and now the Vice ult comes out. The Sova is going to get stuck. They're going to try and get plant down just for the economy, but he's definitely not getting that plant stuck. And Miami, a huge round win after the timeout call, making it 7-3, making this half a believable half.
Honestly, and I really want to bring up the fact that Miami University had so many guns after that big fight at the beginning on B site. Having 3 players there is such an advantage, especially against UWM, who has been just trying to, force their way onto site with just raw utility and numbers. Miami University going to be able to keep 4 of the guns that they had from last time, and they're in such a good position here.
Yeah, the economy even.
If they go down this next round, they still will have a full buy for the last round.
Absolutely. Sleepyhead going to look for the information.
Astro going to
fast. Yep.
Astro going to come out here. Waylay kind of pushing up into the A site, a non-traditional approach from what we usually see with that Astro ult, but
look at the space they took away.
Right.
That is huge.
UWM going to be able to take so much space, going to force their way on site. You even have the Waylay from UWM pushing up into a bit of Miami's territory, seeing that smoke falling back a little bit.
Their Astra fell off the map.
Oh, no!
Their Astra no longer on the map. Now a 4v5 situation. Miami does have Astra ult as well. Sith Lord, though, pushing the smoke, looking for a trade here, but I would love to see it. And actually, Miami utilizing the numbers advantage. Finds 2, gets a great trade piece. World Divided goes out.
One enemy
great timing. Favorite Liar able to find Mox. Now,
knowing the deadlock has
the last one, and they do. Miami now making it 4-7, even closer half. I mean, this is a perfect situation you want to be in if you're on the defender side here from Miami. Some great play calls, 2 in a row, but the Astra falling off the map, that has to sting if you're UWM.
Absolutely, and I do want to point out that the Deadlock and the Sova have ult this round, very likely to be used, just given the fact that this is the last round of the half. Miami University ult economy not looking quite as great. Rysick potentially having an ult online for this round, being 6 out of excuse me, 6 out of 8 ult orbs, whereas Sleepyhead is going to have a full ult online. Likely going to be able to prevent default plant from UWM if they go for it, if they get a bit too, if they rush on the site again.
It's so crucial to lose your Astra there because they utilized your ult, but they still had all their smokes left as well, all for retake, and just losing that for UWM, it really cost them that round.
Absolutely.
As UWM forcing on to this A site, we do see the way Mox already pushed up. Miami again forced to play this retake against this comp. We do have a lurker, no mid lurker this time around, I will mention. So now they
actually
Miami two do go out to find this Miami member, but Doomty able to find one, looking for the second trade, not able to find it.
Able to cancel the UMV's Sova ult though, most importantly. It's saying there's no mid lurker. Miami University going to be able to pull out their own waylay, getting every player off a site except for one, just hanging on barely. Every player chipped from UMV standpoint except for the Astra that's sitting on site. Rysik knows where both players are. Low on time, gets one pick with his utility. Ult coming out. Is that going to be able to launch him off? Not quite, but that's going to put him in such a tricky position. Astra utility going to be able to take them off. Take him just out of just enough time to be able to prevent Rysik from sticking the bomb, you know, being able to win that round. But 4-8, Miami University not in a very bad position here. As we know, Abyss is an attack-sided map where they're going to have two very large options for B and A, even though B site and mid are going to be a little bit more difficult for the attackers to push up on. It compensates them with such an advantage in terms of space.
Yeah, the big thing here also from UWM, and the surprising factor here, does Teo have a blind? I don't believe so.
No.
Miami plays with 2 blinds here with the Vise and the Breach. UWM was able to take all that space with the utility dump and pressure that they provided, but that's why Miami decided to play so much retake that half. They had the blinds to push and take the space along with Sova utility. A lot of the time we did see Sova drone used right like this at the beginning of the round to try and find it. Doomty able to find one, but Mox getting a mid peak, finding 3. Mox
trying to get a little bit more aggressive here, knowing it's the pistol round, winning this round specifically, and I would argue the most important round of the game. Both the pistol rounds giving such an advantage and snowball effect, either in the sense of having 2 wins and such a good eco coming out of it, or in the sense that you just get to, you just have that immediate first round and advantages are built off of winning rounds. UWM going to be able to take this first round. Scary position for Miami University. You never want to see the opposing team win that first pistol round after going down 4 to 8.5.
Yeah, Mox being insanely aggressive, being able to get to that mid window super fast. Miami not expecting that timing, able to get 3 off of it. I mean, that's just unfortunate timing there, but a great play from Mox now. Mox with the Outlaw. I do want to see a Bulldog as well on the side for Tingley.
I do want to point out Outlaw in this position going to be far better than an Op. Going to have those 2 immediate shots and allow you to fall back and reload.
With everybody on light shields as well.
Right. Miami University actually choosing not to buy any shields. I believe a Doomty, the only player with a Sheriff right now.
Yep, Mox able to get Sleepyhead caught out, but Sleepyhead had already used all of his utilities, so not too much of a drastic loss. At least you're not losing your smokes player, right?
Right.
So it's all a matter of picks. Doomty does find that, but not able to hit it. Does get him chunked out though.
Not quite going to hit him for a lot. Going to hit him for a lot of damage. Trying to spam in the area that it previously was. Not quite going to find anything, but it does look like I was wrong. Favorite Lair also having a Sheriff
and a huge shot off of.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
A member on the rafters there. And that wasn't even the one that got chunked out. So Miami already has one member of UWM, the Astra, on 50 HP. Meanwhile, it's a 4v4. Miami looking to rotate. They are sending the Teo bot, unable to find any information, I believe. I don't think they saw them. So Miami just kind of playing it slow. Back of spawn. Tangley going to be pushed out towards this mid peak.
30 seconds left.
From the closet rooms.
A scary position to be in, but Miami University doing a very impressive job of just keeping up with the kills that UWM are presenting. Trying to, only 20 seconds left on the clock. UWM knows that they have to push now. They have to make some.
Hear it. There's the rotate. UWM rotating into this. This is deadlock full utility with a Teo coverage. But Doomty able to find Chunk off the smoke. That's going to shut
1 second
down.
left. Is Miami University going to be able? Oh, not quite. Miami University not going to be able to get the plant down. Not all of UWM's players going to be on the A site. That is going to be it. But it was an eco round. Just being able to bring it that close, very impressive, very scary for UWM. Of course, going to have a 6-round advantage at this point, being very difficult to come back from. But we know, as we've seen last round, or as we've seen last half, we know you're able to snowball so much off of ruining your opponent's economy. Miami University, if they're able to win 2 rounds, they're very likely to win the 3rd, just given off the fact that UWM is not going to have as much money as they would want to have. They won't be able to buy the important rifles. You can actually see here, UWM not having great rifles, whereas Miami University going to have entirely rifles. 2 of those Vandals and 3 of those Phantoms. Kind of making a lot of noise on the A site. This is going to be UWM's strong site, but many ults coming out right here. Spike chilling out in the main part of site. Mock's going to get another huge flank on Miami University. Sithor going to get another pick to even it out. Going to go down to UWM's Sova, and actually just going to be able to spray and finish out the round. That's so scary. UWM going to have 3 of their players survive from that eco round that they have and just fully buy up on rifles here. I don't know if Miami University is going to be able to bring it back from this.
Yeah, Miami in a very strong deficit here. UWM econ
Sort of this
extremely high.
Sort of this pseudo full buy situation for Miami.
You have to force something here. You have to rely on your aim to be able to find some headshots to bring these players down. But UWM, again, the lurker, we talked about that lurk role, has been so crucial to be 5 HP off of that. But Moxie has really been the one to push out and able to find the necessary kills.
And I do want to point out Adoomty giving Rysik his guns. We know Adoomty is the IG Elo this game, choosing to actually take a little bit of a step back, willing to give up his better weapon rate in order to support another player on his team. And it's very likely because he's at 5 HP here and would rather get traded out by the Guardian, but it's such an interesting play.
100%.
It's so scary just giving up your weapon rate, putting yourself in such a vulnerable position.
Great shot.
Scary lineup coming up from UWM's Astra. Going to be able to use a few of the smokes to prevent Miami from breaking onto site. Sprayed through the smoke, bomb going down. UWM takes their 12th round of this game. Miami University just in such a difficult position here, especially after trying to force last round.
Yeah, this utility dump from this group, this making the map insanely hard. The use of the deadlock has been so, even though that 8-10 scoreline is there, the use of the deadlock net and utility has put Miami into an extremely difficult situation. And Teo also, I mean, the Teo, a different pick than what Miami has on theirs. We traded ours with blinds, but Teo, the utility dump that it's able to provide the space it takes away, really does force Miami into a tough position, as we see. Again, the Teo dump, Waylay goes in, gets caught out, is going to need it, but it's suppressed, not going to be able to go away. Does find one though.
I do want to point out something that's really impressive from UWM that Miami University we may not have seen from on the defensive half is just having those players pushed up slightly forward. UWM is going to be able to take that last round and close out this game. Before I was even able to say anything, Miami University on that struggle by, I do want to point out on that defensive half, UWM is going to be able to play a lot more aggressively on the defensive half, just having those players posted up in those unexpected positions. We typically see Vice trying to hold down one site by themselves, which I don't know if that was the right play. Seeing UWM have their own agents just pushed up so far, the deadlock specifically going to take some of those off angles, forces Miami University to use so much utility early on in taking the site that you don't have as much to push up with. You don't have as much to hold with. It's such a difficult position. And so I kind of hope to see up in this next map, just having Miami University have a few players pushed a little bit farther than the enemy team would have expected, either get a pick and fall back or force the enemy team to use so much utility that they won't have as much to hold post plant with, especially since they played with such a post plant heavy team.
Yep. Yeah, and I 100% agree with you there. I'm interested to see what they bring comp-wise to the next map. We will find that next map out here shortly. But again, I like to go back to our pre-match talk. We had discussed about the lurker and how important that role was, and the waylay on their team Mox top fragging for the team, but also not just top fragging, but the pressure that they put on, and when you're lurking and you're finding the kills, it puts so much mental notes into the enemy team, because they're always thinking, okay, what if this person is pushed up? What if they are on the rotation? It really does make you think about it. And Mox did a great job at like lurking in certain rounds and then choosing to sit back and wait for team utility on the next couple rounds, right? It was they chose the right rounds to do it. And that's something that makes a great player better, and even more like way more special. As we head here into map number 2, we're heading to Pearl.
Speaking of lurking, Pearl notorious for going to be notoriously good for lurking. I do actually want to point out from last game, Adumti finding one of the lurks of his own. It was so good. He was able to get that one pick on the deadlock, going to be able to cancel out the Sova's ult and put him in such a bad position, find him with his pants down, as you could say. It's just so difficult to have that sort of threat of lurking happening. And I think Adumti showing both how Miami University can use that to their advantage, and also just, what it has the potential to do for you as a defender, not only an attacker.
Switching onto the KJ here for UWM. No more deadlock gameplay for their side. And we do see the Cypher hovered from Favorite Liar. I would not be surprised to see that. But KJ being very good on this map. The utility also for post-plant situation, great. But the big thing with the turret buy is the ability to find information in the different lanes that Pearl has. You have that mid lane that you can put it in, or you can mix it up and make sure that if it's on the long angle that they're trying to go on, it will get that information for you. And Mox hovering the Neon, that allows for that quick rotation. Same as with the Yoru pick from Adumti. Yoru able to teleport back and forth, leaving a TP on the other side of the map, will allow for a quicker rotation here for Miami. We do see a double KJ. Teo locked in, though. This is for Tangley, and an ISO for Favorite Liar.
I did want to bring it up. Miami University choosing to go for a double duelist pick with 0 movement utility aside from the Yoru TPs. A very interesting choice on Pearl specifically. Pearl going to have a lot of those long hallways, especially that B site, which seems to be the most popular with attackers. You have to take so much space in order to even think about contesting that point. And that's why we see traditionally the Neon coming out as we can see from UWN, Neon going to be able to sprint down that B lane, support from their teammates, and just take so much space so quickly, whereas Miami University is choosing to take an unorthodox approach.
Yeah, Yoru and Neon kind of meet the same requirements, be able to do those fast rotations and help support their teammates. But the difference between Teo and what you're getting from your other duelists here from Miami is kind of that pressure enabled to take the gunfights fast. So we'll have to see, again, UWM with a very heavy post-plant situation. Fade on both sides, by the way, picked Fade a great choice onto this map, having tons of different lineups to be able to check for information early on, as we do see them get, I believe they went and got that ult orb over towards the A side. Now going to go look towards mid. Chunk holding down the mid angle to make sure that there is no Miami lurker coming in, and now we see potentially a strong short push here. And I do want
to bring up from the perspective of a spectator, I'm very curious what this ISO is going to do for Miami University. Again, not a traditional choice. He doesn't have very many movement abilities. The primary purpose of his utility is just to support his own gunfights. Favorite Liar going to be able to get 2 right out of the bat. Adumti falling back, seeing so much of UWM there. Gonna get another flank. Mock's gonna push up, get a pick on the retreating Adumti. Another one on the flanking Sleepyhead. Gonna have bomb, try and push on the site, see the fade utility, follow up on it, swing on the KJ, gonna be able to get it, falls down to Sith Lord. What an insane round.
Mock's phenomenal actual read and understanding of the game right there. I mean, you knew that after finding that kill, they had an idea that there was probably going to be a lurker coming through mid. Catches Sleepyhead with their pants down, basically. No gun attached, just knife out. And then aggressively goes for the trade onto Rysik in the back corner, knowing that they're split from their teammate, but was not able to get away in time. Sith Lord making a huge gunfight on the other UWM player and then able to flick over and pick up the kill. Another pistol round. Deja vu moment here. Miami already up 1-0 with the pistol, but will we see them kind of falter here in this big eco round? Favorite Liar able to get two here with the Guardian. Now pulls out the shield. Does lose the shield, but is able to trade one.
Oh, not quite going to be able to do anything
Giving guns
there.
away, though.
Yep, UWM still going to be on the back foot here after that 2K coming from Favorite Liar.
They do have a Guardian now, so that is something to keep note of. You have 2 Spectators in hand. I don't know what our Astra player has, but now we see 2 going up into the mid. They're going to see the pick. Sheriff hits, don't go out. Sleepyhead able to get some good damage off. Decides to pull out util, but Sith Lord able to back them up. Is able to get back the Guardian into hands.
What a scary round, but Miami University going to be able to close out this eco round. They have such a money advantage here. Quite a few of Miami's players going to be falling down, but still, they have so much money that they're able to buy a rifle and still be comfortable money-wise.
I would like to point out, you see Sleepyhead playing in the middle of this map. The reason why is because of the utility that Fade provides, the dog usages to be able to check around those corners. Is very key in this map, whether it's tight angles and mid, but also, and this is why I think they picked the Teo on the UWM side, if you get caught in that fade snare, that's a free Teo utility dump into what it should be a free kill for the use. As we see an aggressive B push here. Neon going to get into the back sight. Fade utility dumped as well. Sith Lord able to find one through the smoke. A huge spray with the Guardian, though, able to find one. Miami playing off-site completely. Adumti, though, gets caught, but that's all right. That's your duelist down. You have the utility still here for the rest of the team to use.
Sith Lord going to be able to find another one on the KJ. Favorite Liar trying to make that gunfight work with the Sheriff. Not quite going to be able to do it. It's Sleepyhead falling to UWM, but this is expected. This was UWM's buy round. Being able to get so many guns out of their hand, extremely good for Miami University here. They're gonna be forcing UWM to go so far back in terms of gun. Even the Tejo's only able to buy what looked like to be a Bulldog. Potentially not buying one, but we're seeing here they don't have very much money left. Miami University doing such a good job of punishing these aggressive site pushes using the Pearl's layout. And I do want to bring up just real quick here, Neon, such an impressive character at taking space, but once she starts those gunfights, unlike other duelists, she's not going to have the utility to just dash back and get out of bad situations.
Yeah, Neon popping the ultimate and doing a full flank. Miami flipping the map here and runs out of ammunition. The finger gun does not work anymore. And we are able to get a 2v1 trade. Now 4-3 on Miami's favor. Favorite Liar does have that ult as well for post-plant situation to kind of take away a member of UWM from site. And Miami should utilize that for this thing. However, Sith Lord gets caught out. A great aggressive push. Finds the timing, making it a 3v3 situation now. And we do get some suppression. But here we go. We do get the 1v1. Is he able to find it? The 1v1 crucial is able to find Chunk. That's huge for post-plant situation now. KJ, no utility on. We do have the Astra Star on the bomb site. Miami knows the information. They don't know where Teo is, though. They need to figure out the information for Teo.
I'm hoping Miami University taps the bomb soon here because they know Teo's utility still online, unless I'm wrong. Astra utility going to come out right here. Yep, Teo's one
no time.
Missile going to come out. No time left anymore. Yeah, and that Astra just being in tower and Teo being so close to the site, such a difficult position to be in.
Yep, they do lose the guns, but They gain the round, and that is the most important number at the end of the game.
Absolutely.
So a huge round win, especially when UWM was hurting on economy. We were talking about that prior to the round. No economy there for UWM, but Teo coming out with a Vandal off of it and a post-plant win. And so they are not upset about that. Mox, I wanted to point that out too. They chose to hold the Classic and then utilize that ult, that great ult that Neon has to kind of save some. And Miami actually pushed out aggressively into middle, trying to predict an aggressive push from UWM, and then they flipped the map and it just didn't go into their favor.
Miami University going to be on a half buy this round. Some players having Vandals, others having pistols. UWM going to be on an uncomfortable full buy, all having rifles, but if they lose this round, they're going to be at the economic disadvantage again. Miami University kind of just playing on the border of the KJ ult, not going to quite push out as far as I think you hope to be. Investing in KJ ult, that's a heavy investment. It's such a powerful ultimate.
It does guarantee you post-plant situation, though, here, and I think they are going to be happy with that, especially with Fade utility getting dumped out. Fade ult, Mox able to find 2, looking for a 3rd, gets the 3rd. Now the 4th, looking for the ace, and no. Chonk able to get the flawless, though.
But UWM going to have the economic advantage here. They are up, and they have guns.
I just want to point out, all of those members of Miami must have gotten hit by a KJ or a Teo utility. They all were 1 HP, so something must have happened in that short period time frame where Mox got basically 1 bullet on all the members.
I believe that was a fatal. If you look at her ult points right now, she is at 0 out of 8.
Yeah, Fade did ult there onto the site, so that was also a great fatal as well.
So that's likely why they were at 1 HP. But having that one player on A site, I want to point out, UWM has not really been playing the lurking game this round. They've all been committing to one site. But we'll see, Adumti going to be able to get the pick on Chonk. Going to push up a little bit, expecting more, but he hears from his teammates, hey, we have a lot of people. They're investing their Astra ult, as we've seen these last few rounds. Astra ult going to be one of the most influential ults throughout these games.
Yeah, they're playing post-plant so well, getting so much post-plant opportunity out of this. Mox able to get 1, throwing out our utility. There goes our Astra ult down, but it is not going to turn into anything. Astra able to find 3. UWM now going up 4-2 in our economy for Miami once again in the dumps.
This is such a scary position to be in. I think as Miami University, you know you're at the economic disadvantage, and just what do you do here?
If Miami ends up losing this round, then I likely would not. I would expect a possible timeout for the round where they do have some economy here to go up against UWM. But Mox once again proving why they are the duelist player here for UWM. They're finding the kills. They're just online. Both of these maps, they're just clicking heads. I think very consistent so far. And this is, again, a team that had only lost to the 1st and 2nd seed in the West. So 2 very good teams, San Jose State and Columbia College, both being ranked on the VALORANT ranking committee board in the top 25 as well. As Miami plays the vertical, UWM playing the vertical, Adumti getting caught out by it. Again, they were expecting the lurk from that last round where Chonk did unfortunately fall for them. But now Adumti getting the short end of the stick. First blood, UWM. First blood's being so important in these kind of strategical shooters. That is a huge deal to have numbers advantage in these kind of situations.
We're going to see the Teo noticing all the KJ set up on this A site. Going to pop one of the nades early, throwing another missile out. Only going to have 1 left for the post plant, but they just plan on falling back, maybe trying to hit another site. Looks like they actually have full control of this B site here. Miami University rotating a little bit early, not going to be able to punish the Astra.
You also know your ISO utility just got thrown out and wasted, and so huge information gatherer as well, knowing that they had fully rotated. Tempt is going to find Sith Lord 100% of the time there. Just caught out a great lurk from Tempt, and now you're going to get to play that same position they did in the last one of the last post plants above in heaven. Mox going to slide in here, looking for 1. Is able to find Tangly going to find it on the sleepyhead, but Miami, I'm expecting a timeout right here if I am Miami to kind of regroup and utilize the gun advantage that you now should have, or I wouldn't say gun advantage, but the timing on this. You do have Yoru ult available to use. I will say that. So it's something that you need to keep watch out for Miami. Do you utilize your Yoru to grab this information early, or do you wait?
And I do want to point out Ryzik having 8 out of 9 points on their ult. Sleepyhead also having 7 out of 8 points on their ult. It's likely going to be a position where they will not.
They did.
They will be likely to be able to retake a site if one of them gets a kill using their big ultimates. Particularly KJ and Fade ult going to be super good at retaking a site. Fade's ult dealing so much damage to the opponent for a short period of time and revealing their locations, while KJ ult is going to threaten to detain any players that choose to stay on site.
Yeah, and we talked about, are you going to plan on utilizing that Yoru ult? And they invested early. Doomty able to cash in on that and able to find two, but does fall to the tail. But Miami finding the trades, now a 4v2 numbers advantage here. And all you have left on UWM side to push site is a Fade and a KJ.
But they're
a great shot from Chonk, though.
Going to be able to find that first pick coming into this plant situation, fully taking advantage of having every part of A on lockdown. KJ, notorious, again, as a Sentinel, going to be really good for locking down sites, especially KJ. Using that Fatal, as we discussed prior, going to be able to find the Fade. KJ getting taken down early by Miami University's Astra. Favorite Liar gonna try and take a little bit of a step back, knowing where the bomb is. Sticking the bomb, maybe just halving it. Looks like they're sticking it. Hearing the footsteps, gonna be able to get the pick.
Playing it dangerous and surprisingly an unfortunate spot where they planted. I understand why they planted in the back, and their UWM member got caught out.
Yep.
By Sith Lord, but man, imagine if that was planted for them. That would have been a dangerous situation. Herring was able to get a dink onto the other member of Miami after the initial spray, and that turned dangerous.
Absolutely.
3-5 Miami, a huge round win though. Again, rounds the most important number in the game.
Absolutely.
And so Miami now tying it closer and closer. They want to get a fourth one here. We're going to see an aggressive B push out. Neon does have ult available to use. Tangley going to utilize utility to get the information. Knows somebody is detected. Astra getting caught out there by Miami. And so they know the Astra's over towards this B side. Miami, though, again, we haven't seen anyone lurk from Miami around towards attacker spawn. We do see the defender KJ ult come out from Ryzik. Going to stall out UWM from coming back to this B point.
I'm kind of surprised, forcing to try, instead of using it for a retake situation, they instead choose to use it to prevent UWM from pushing onto B site. As we see two players from UWM pushing up slowly, trying to see if they can take that space. Favorite Liar seeing a little bit of presence from the Fade and potentially two other UWM players in the mid area. They're going to push into Art, use a little bit more Fade utility, knowing at least 3 players are there. Not quite going to push up yet, though, as unexpected as I may be.
Oh, a great bait from Mox. Knowing that your opponent has the ultimate, used the smoke screen kind of effect there, right? You bait them in thinking that they've taken up the space. Sith Lord again getting caught out in the same angle from Tempt.
What an unfortunate
Tempt
position.
Getting a great push up there. I mean, this is unfortunate sight.
You know, unfortunate position to be in, but you see Miami University kind of holding for that link. And we're going to see the Fade push up after they kind of hold it. Going to get caught by the alarm bot. Not quite. Doomty going to be able to go down after getting a pick. Ryzik being the last player alive with only a sheriff to his name. Shorty coming out. That is going to be the round 3-6 UWM.
Yeah, the KJ ult was good there because it stalled them, and they had just utility dumped the majority of their utility, right, to get some pressure onto the map. But utilizing that makes them back away, and then they don't have any more utility to really push up that long. But then Miami kind of dispersed. Miami kind of just like they threw the Teo utility out. They did all the smoke screen effect over in that A short. Miami fell for it, and then they had full B control. Nobody else at Miami holding B anymore after that happened, and they were able to take, again, catching the big thing, catching out Sith Lord in spawn, as Miami just trying to find some trades, but
oh my goodness,
some great shots. Yeah, great shots from UWM. A save round here for Miami. Rysek trying to find anything, but Mox just too fast on the rotation. A rotational character like Neon just pushing out of these angles so fast, and catching our players out on timings.
I do want to have a little bit on professional casting here. I really wish we had something to draw on the map with. Miami University specifically, I want to point out how they're choosing to play for these players on a site. Despite having guns, they still want to be playing these sort of risky snowbally plays where they're able to kind of force anybody that tries to mess with their A site to immediately get picked off. We're going to see it looks like a few of them splitting into mid specifically. KJ going to put down a turret, potentially going to see anybody that tries to push out a little bit too far there. But Miami University only having one player on the B site. It's always, we very commonly see Miami only one player on the B site. If they hear a lot of pressure coming up from the enemy team, they'll just fall back.
Yeah, UWM as well. Oh, great. Get Mox to 1 HP, but for the 4 utilities here being able to be used here, Teo getting invested, and the Astra Wall. We see all of these getting utilized. Tangley able to find one, but does find his teammate as well. Sith Lord, though, getting to Rysek there on site, able to find now a 1v2 situation. Fade looking to clutch it up, 1v1.
Kind of got to be careful in this position. I understand you have your double tap, but the Fade going to be playing so far into main. Not quite going to be able to finish out the kill, but it's a 1v1 situation. Fatal online potentially going to be a factor in this round. You got it. This is such a
spike down. You know that they have to go for this, and there it is.
Yep, and the ult comes out. They know you. They know where you aren't. They don't know where you are, and you get the pick. Miami University going to be able to shoot their way back into this game. 4-7. Economy not going to be on their side for this round, but they're able to full buy. That is the most important part of this. Crucial round to win. Potentially going to be able to bring this to a 5-7 situation. Also potentially going to be in a 4-8 position, where, as we know, not the greatest position you want to be in, but still a very good spot.
Yeah, some great shots there from Sith Lord, and Favorite Liar clutching up in the 1v1. I mean, they hit the head, but it's a Phantom versus Vandal diff, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Unfortunate there for UWM, but the Vandal coming out stronger there. A 4-7 aggressive push out from Miami, knowing that they need to try and find an early pick here to try and hold this round, because, again, 3 ult usages here, and the KJ is going to go down again like they did that original round.
I do want to point out, though, Miami University having Astra's ult, or both teams actually, Astra's ult is going to be on live. This Astra ult has been has been pivotal to Miami University and UWM's success in these rounds. Miami University likely saving the Astra ult for post-plant, just kind of getting into position, trying to see who they can find, what picks they can get. Neon going to be able to rush into CT, getting 2 picks so far with Horny Herring, with the Fade following up on them. Gonna get another. That's 4 picks for UWM's Neon. What a scary position to be in. Both the previous rounds that you saw the Neon ult come out, you were able to successfully deal with it. But that one round where they were able to find the right storm, the right wind, they were able to just take out Miami's entirety, the entirety of Miami's team.
Yeah, that Fade utility shutting down Miami and getting them stuck inside short, and Mox just continuing to capitalize. I mean, Mox 21-7. What a performance here from the first half. 21 in the first half.
Yep, there have been 12 rounds.
I'll say first half that you do not see. You'll see 21 at the end of a game for some people. At the end of a game.
And that's a good performance.
And it is a good performance. It is 8-4 right now, people. We have 5 more maps that 5 more rounds that UWM needs to win here. We might be seeing a potential 40 bomb if Miami decides to go the distance here. So Mox, again, just doing a great job on the duelist role here for UWM, providing so much pressure. Again, we mentioned pistol rounds being super important. They're going to rotate, like we mentioned. Here's that fast rotation. He was over on that A side or B side, and now he's going to rotate to his team on the B. Favorite Liar able to get the trades. Great headshots onto Mox and Herring. Going to provide Miami. Miami, this is go time. You know, they're look at UWM rotating. They know that this is going to be a fast push. They want to get on site.
2 picks for Miami University, going to put them up by a player. Favorite Liar going to use the double tap, potentially push out of the smoke. Going to be able to get 1 pick, fall down 2. Favorite Liar, oh, actually, I'm mistaken. Miami University can get 2 picks, force UWM into a 1 versus 3 situation. They take 1. Miami University trades it out for that round win. And let me just say, such a pivotal round for Miami to win. That pistol round, as we've been saying, very important. But Miami University, after a 4-8 half, having that pistol round in their favor, 5-8, likely going to be 6-8. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, but it's so important. It's very Miami University going to have such a gun advantage. You even see Favorite Liar coming out with the Vandal here.
Evan Favorite Liar, the freshman, coming out with a huge 4K in the first round here. As a Fade Dog, they're trying to find, they know that somebody's going to be playing close here with that shorty in hand. They're trying to bait it. Getting some damage down.
They're not going to push this. They absolutely will not push this, knowing that the opponent has a shorty. Gonna try and spray a little bit more through the wall, get a bit more damage on them. 44 bullets here. You might even see the mag run out at this point. They fully put down a smoke. They know, hey, they're not going to push up on me. They know I have a shorty in this position. I am running the game. And then just holding for the push from the Astra. Going to be able to get that pick. UWM in such a tough position here, trying to fight Art, but what are they going to do against these long-ranged weapons?
Miami doesn't know that somebody is behind this box. Is this going to be drastic? It is.
That's going to be 2 kills for UWM. Not quite going to be able to find the picks. Getting another kill, and they pick up Miami University's guns. Bulldog and Vandal.
Who has the Vandal in hand?
Or that's, I believe, a Guardian.
It's a Guardian, but where did the Vandal go? The Vandal's in short. Did UWM get the
Absolutely.
find the Vandal?
We likely see the KJ with the Vandal here. Bomb going to be securely in UWM's hands. Going to be able to find 1 kill. Not quite the other. Miami University, unfortunately, losing this eco round that they had such an advantage on.
Yeah, now we're back into the deja vu of last map, where now you gain the pistol. And pistol, in my opinion, if you win both pistols, you should be winning this game. But sometimes Valorant is Valorant. And in this situation, losing this kind of free round here is going to be super hard now for Miami to claw back, because now you have an outlaw purchase here on the side for Mox, and then you have full coverage with only a Bulldog here in Tangley's hand, but Phantoms and Vandals in the other 3. You had a great performance play there from Evan from Favorite Liar there in a crucial point in the map, but now you got your backs up against the wall in a save round. Attempt, able to find 2 off of it. Miami just kind of flooding in, trying to find anything. They do find a few. Sithord able to find 2 with the classic, but now it's Rysik, all that's left with the Sheriff, and Tempt rushing him down. Now a 10-5 lead here for UWM. They are feeling comfortable with this lead.
Miami University in, again, another difficult situation. If they want to win this game, they need to win this round. UWM, again, going to have a lot of money on the back burner. It's not very likely that they'd be able to continue buying for another round after, assuming they lose this one. But Miami University, even, again, as you were saying, the rounds are the most important numbers of the game. If Miami University is not going to be able to close this 5-10 gap, it won't matter if they have the economy in their hands, just because they won't have the round numbers to come back from.
Yeah, we do see a standard split, a 3-1-1 split here from Miami. Evan going to give out, Favorite Liar going to give out information that the ISO is there by utilizing his E. Trying to take a fight. But again, Miami, we kind of mentioned in the early game before this, when we went into agent selection, the difference between the ISO and the Teo, noticeably something that, I mean, Favorite Liar has been able to capitalize on so far on this attacking side, but this is where Miami should be stronger. You have 2 duelists that should be able to take space for you. Teo is going to prevent that space from being taken. And Herring able to find Favorite Liar, not allow Miami to push through that wall of defense.
And I do want to point out here that Miami University having only one flash user on their team with that Yoru. And anytime that they're not going to be able to do a push out with the Yoru, it's going to be really difficult just given how consistently UWM has chosen to use the Astra's smokes. Continuously, Miami University has been shut down by the fact that Astra has put up a smoke, they try and push through the smoke, and UWM has punished them for it. I'm kind of wondering here if choosing to play this double duelist role was the right play. ISO not having any flashes, not really having any supporting utility at all, to be honest.
And I don't mind the thought process behind it, and I think that being able to play more aggressive into this UWM team is something that you kind of needed after what was a grueling first post plant situation. As we see, the 1v1 does come out Favorite Liar. Who's up against? Up against the Fade, does find a huge take. Adumte able to trade out Mox, but Tangly able to get 2. 3v2 situation now for Miami. Sleepyhead and Favorite Liar trying to get towards this A site, but Spike is in short. Not a great sight to be seen. And a dink through the smoke. Favorite Liar falling down. Now a 1v3 situation for the Fade.
Miami fans.
Sleepyhead.
I'm gonna sneeze.
Rotating through. Sleepyhead,
All
the
right.
senior, has to clutch up here. Postseason stakes.
It's just such a scary position to be in. You know that UWM is just going to be stacking on the bomb, checking that corner, which is good, but it gives away your position. Spraying through the smoke, seeing what they're going to be able to do. Using their utility as an initiator, they have a lot of utility in order to try and figure out where their opponents are, but not going to be able to quite follow up on that utility. Maybe thinking of making plays of working their way around to the backside of Art, but you know you have 20 seconds left. Do you give up this round to save the Vandal?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're making the play to save. That is what they're doing here. Sleepyhead going to save this Vandal for another chance in the next round. UWM going to go up 12-5 here. I mean, it's unfortunate you're only carrying over one rifle, but UWM in the power seat now. Miami needs to play perfect to try and send this to a map 3.
Right, in order to come back from this. We've been seeing Miami University get punished for having the bomb get thrown down in Art. It's kind of scary because you really want to be able to use these split plays to your advantage, pressuring 2 parts of the map. Again, why Pearl is such a great map for the attackers. But just having UWM kind of pressure and put so many of their defenders into the Art position that it's just you can't really follow up from it. You get your bomb lost so deep in enemy territory that the round is basically over, assuming that you do lose those fights.
Yeah, an operator purchase here from Mox is going to be able to find Adumte. Adumte having a rough map here on the Yoru, getting caught out in a lot of first blood situations. But Miami Favorite Liar was able to trade it. Now UWM trying to go with the Astra ult. Does get found. Favorite Liar able to find it, and now do they know Tangly's behind? The plant does go down to Rysick.
They know Tangly's coming from CT. They don't know if he's lower or upper. Tangly not sure quite himself how he wants to play this. Looks like he's using his drone to try and pick out, hey, where are the position of these attackers? What can I do to try and get back in this round? I know we have an around advantage here, but we do not want to lose this. But Sidlord going to be able to take out Tangly with the operator. Kind of curious, Miami University not choosing to take it.
Leaving the operator behind, and I think that's fair when you're in an attacking position to not have the operator, especially on this map where the angles are very close, limited, long. I mean, you'd have to basically challenge the person on B, and there's no reason for them to peek if they know that you have the operator, so I can understand it.
Right, I honestly...
We do see temp by the operator again for the side of UWM, so they still have the credits to get another op in hand, which is terrifying. And we'll see what they decide to do. They're holding that B angle. Adumte going to utilize that, and he gets the information that 2 are extremely close. Mox, though, gets 2 on the other end. Tangly able to get Sleepyhead with the Teo utility. Sithlord now getting caught out as well in mid. It's all up to Adumte. Miami's postseason stakes alive. Gets 2. Looking for the clutch.
It looks like UWM kind of giving him ones right now. Going to be able to fight. Going to get 4 kills. Not quite. UWM going to be able to finish out this set in a 2-0 fashion.
Yeah, UWM, Mox.
Mox specifically doing so much.
A huge game from Mox there. 30 kills. We said opportunity for a 40 bomb if it went the distance, and ultimately a 30 bomb ending Miami's postseason dreams there in CVC for this semester. Favorite liar, though, on the ISO pick, 19 and 17, a positive with Sith Lord 16, 15. Miami, Doomty getting first blooded quite a lot. Was able to get 3 but again, Mox, 5 first bloods. First bloods being such a huge priority in Valorant. Getting man advantage in certain situations is such a key thing. And the lurking as well from the other members. We talked about that utility usage from these high level teams. UWM did a phenomenal job with that ult usage, and Miami ultimately just surmised it. I mean, how many times did we see Teo get utility kills? We saw a good chunk of utility kills from Teo through both maps, 2 or 3. And usually that doesn't happen too much, but it's because of the layering of utility with the fade, with the like KJ utility, neon slows. It helped catch a lot of Miami members out. So,
and specifically, I want to point out how Teo is going to be able to take advantage of the fact that he has such a fast duelist every single round. We see from UWM specifically having those Waylay and Neon dreams where they just get into sight so quickly. Neon going to be more focused on just forcing themselves onto sight with that with their walls when she hops into sight, and Waylay going to be more focused on the safety of it by having that dash and then having that relay to fall back on. Teo going to be able to take advantage of the fact that they're going to position themselves so deep in sight so consistently that it doesn't matter whenever it doesn't matter which duelist he's playing with. All that matters is that they're able to put themselves in a position where they're pushed up really far. Teo punishes anyone that's playing around those corners, and then they will be able to shoot anyone that's trying to get out of the Teo's missile range.
Yeah, 100%. UWM, again, such a strong performance. A 2-0 victory for the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Moving on to the round of 16 for CVC fall season. They will play the winner of, I believe it's UGA, maybe black or red, one of the two Georgia teams versus TAMU Maroon, who I believe is the team that won CVAL last year.
Right.
I don't know if they have returning players, but should be a really good matchup. So super excited to see kind of the result of that one and the result of the top 16 round to see who moves on. Hopefully Milwaukee goes far. We'd like to see them go far as they are the ones that beat us. So hats off to them. Congratulations. CVC, again, fall season. We'll be back for the spring season for CVC as well. We'll be competing in that and the Esports Collegiate Conference next season for our main semester. We do have NACE club playoffs. We do play up against Redbirds JV coming up in next Wednesday. So if you want to watch out for some more Valorant playoff edition, we will have that next Wednesday at, I believe it's a 7 p.m. start time or 8:30 p.m. start time.
And I do want to bring up just real quick, Miami University placing top 16 in their region. I know it's sad to see them come out as coming out in the top 32 of this division's teams, but again, such an impressive performance coming out from them, being able to get a lot of consistent wins coming out of their division. I believe 4-3 you mentioned.
Yep.
Even if they come out of this round getting eliminated first round, it's single elimination. It's volatile like that. And having to fight a team that only lost to the first and second seed, it's hard to be mad about that.
100%. And now looking forward to our next scheduled stream.
Right.
Well, let's get into some more